Hello, and welcome to another session of Nirvana with Nav. Now, it's been a very long time since my last episode, and at the time of recording, it is June 14th, 2023 at 11:53 a.m. Now, in about an hour's time, I'll be heading out for 10 days to participate in a Vipassana or a silent meditation retreat. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Vipassana, at a very high level, um, for the next 10 days, I'll be following a strict schedule which involves waking up every morning at 4 a.m., meditating for 10 hours a day. So that begins at, I think, 4:30 in the morning, and the day alternates between meditation, break, meditation, meal. Every night there's a lecture. But during your stay, during your time there, you follow the code of noble silence. So there's no talking. And there's other people that are also joining this retreat, but there's no talking. There's no reading. You can't bring a book. No writing. You can't bring a journal. No listening to music. No exercising, not even yoga in my case. For 10 days. And most of the time when I tell people this, I get the typical response of, I could never do that for 10 days. And I think the real challenge for a lot of people is sometimes overlooked, and that's going 10 days without your phone. I think for a lot of us, the phone has become a technological tool that we can't live without. From the first few minutes that you wake up in the morning till you go to bed at night, the phone is typically within an arm's reach of you. And for me, this weekend coming up, I have a few events that I'll be missing. I have a few friends that will be fighting professionally. And typically I'm there cheering them on, but I'll have no idea what the results are. I'll have no idea about the outside world for 10 days. A part of me is very excited about this experience. Another part of me is very nervous and anxious. But above all else, I'm very curious. Now, I've been meditating myself for about 3 years, I would say. And I've observed periods of silence, but, one day here. And even then, with modified rules of still going for a bike ride, but, being silent. Still going for walks outside, but just being quiet. But it'll be a very interesting challenge and experience to go through these 10 days. And especially in my case, I still live a pretty active life. I'm either coaching or teaching yoga or actively practicing something myself just about every single day of the week. And being a yoga teacher, being a meditation teacher, I do a lot of talking when it comes to guiding classes and practices. And since coming home from India back in November, I've basically been going. So it'll be a very interesting transition to allow myself to surrender into this experience as it begins. Now it's funny that um, on the website, one of the frequently asked questions is, gee, like 10 days, that's a very long period of time to not be quiet or to not talk and to practice Vipassana, to practice silent meditation. And I'm paraphrasing, but the answer written by the organization, the website, goes something along the lines of, well, actually, 10 days isn't that long because traditionally Vipassanas would be observed for 72 days or something like that. Which really puts things into perspective. Vipassana as a technique was, I think, proposed by the Buddha. So, putting it into perspective, well over 2,000 years ago. But here we are in this modern world. The Buddha could never have predicted that we'd have smartphones that hold us slave, that we have a world that just bombards us with information and sensation, that we're in just a constant state of fight or flight from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. I mean, the degree of suffering that we have that is created by ourselves is all around us. So this technique of Vipassana must surely provide some cleansing. At least that's the hope. Do I recommend other people try this? Probably not. I mean, maybe I'll have a better idea when I finish. It's certainly not for everyone. Blaise Pascal, a French philosopher, I believe, or something like that. He had said that man's it was a quote, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And this quote has been just repeating in my mind over and over and over again. Because that is what I will be asked to do. Whether I'm sitting in a room or on break, we are in a forested area, so there is space to, not a whole lot, but, sit outside, I believe. But I will be quietly sitting and repeating the same experience of inhaling and exhaling and sitting for 10 days, 10 hours a day. Now, for a lot of us, just that thought alone brings about a lot of anxiety. For others, a lot of boredom. But I think one of the challenges of this experience, or one of the things to see in this whole experience, is to bring a set of new eyes every single day to the experience. Yes, I might be sitting in the same spot day in, day out, but can I bring a sense of curiosity to today's experience so that I don't have it in my mind that this will be just like every other experience that I've gone through, like every other day? There is a bit of a rambling going on, and that's okay. Hopefully you like to listen to my voice. It feels weird. I had hoped to, moderate and figure out my sleep schedule so that I could better align myself with waking up at 4 a.m., but that did not go as planned. So we'll see how the adjustment turns out to be. This past weekend, I drove down to Albany, New York with my wrestling club. Kids did very well. It was a very fun experience. But sleeping in a Super 8 hotel wasn't the greatest. And then a lot of yelling, just the natural way of coaching, speaking loud. And then the driving. So physically, my body is all over the place. And I needed to get my stress release out, my like final fixes of dopamine, I guess. So Monday night, I went and practiced jujitsu. Tuesday night, coached wrestling. And it feels nice to just, have those final experiences. Took my cat for a walk this morning. And it's funny because like there's a little bit of clinging going on as I talk about these experiences of, I have to put a break, I put a hold, I put a pause on this side of my life as I like go into my turtle shell for 10 days. But I'm very hopeful that I'll come out of this experience with some sense of renewed energy. I've had this I guess like a mantra for the year, or just this overwhelming theme behind why I'm doing certain things this year, and a lot of it has to do with empowering my heart. And so the hope is, if there is one for this Vipassana experience, it's to take the elevator down from my mind and into my heart. To hope that the silence allows me to bring certain things to the surface. And just to see who Nav really is. I'm 29 and I'm only starting to figure out who I am. So I hope I have a better understanding of that question at the conclusion of my retreat. So with that being said, see you when I get back. May you all be well. May you all be peaceful. May you all be healthy. May you all be free from peace and suffering. And I look forward to our next session.